Hello, Ricky video. Today we're gonna take a look at some battles here from Aerosol, who I already showcased like several times on this channel, with a team with 3 basically buffed Pokemon here. We have the Runerigus in the lead, which is of course one of the best new Pokemon. We have the Swap here of the Dapple most likely, and then we have the Pokemon in the back, which is going to be the Lopunny. Lopunny has now access as well to the double kick, just like this Dapple here, and also has access to Hyper Beam, which is going to be very interesting if we can see some Hyper Beams land here, as we see a Girafarig against them. Girafarig also now has access to Psychic Fangs plus the double kick. I think you're actually going to be able to get to the Psychic Fangs super fast with this thing now as well. It's kind of insane, but you can see here the Body Slam's doing some pretty nice damage. You kind of have to farm down here with the... Actually, oh, you still have a move start here. Okay, never mind. Otherwise, you need to farm down with the Lopunny because the Shadow Claws are resisted still on this Pokemon because it's part normal type. We see them going down though, and we see the Lopunny against the Lickitung. It's pure normal typing here, so the Lick going to be double resisted and the opponent decides to surrender as well. As we face the next opponent here, a lot of opponents as well with the Legend rank, as we see that, like the Legend poses, better to say there. As we see here that they can go for one Shadow Ball, do some pretty nice damage, and put them basically already into range for the Pokemon in the back to deal with. I really hope that we get like an event for Runerigus, so they spawn in the wild, so you can get some better IVs. These IVs of course are horrible, but also minor horrible that I have. Nobody is really prepared. They kind of softly lose the lead here against the Altaria, which is not that cool. But they can farm it down with a Lopunny here, as we see a Reggie still coming in, which is actually the ideal scenario for you. You can now go just for Fire Punches, which are going to do some pretty decent damage. Wow, this did actually way more than I thought. You of course have to shield up every move as a Focus Burst, and the Zapcan would KO you. But you can see actually that this thing does a lot of damage. I didn't expect it for like one Fire Punch to do like so much damage, already putting him close to the range of 2 Fire Punches there. As we see them going for another one, they're gonna get the final shield, they're going to get the Swampert in. Can we see the move land? Not now, they don't go for the Hyper Beam yet. Kinda sad. I wish that they would go for the Hyper Beam. Let's go. Yeah, we go for the Hyper Beam there. They tried to swap out first, but now they go for the Hyper Beam, and bye-bye Swampert. They can swap out now into the Double, which can take every single move, I think. Yeah, you're going to be able to take the moves, and you can go for one Wild Charge, and one Wild Charge will be able to KO them. Double going to be one of the best Pokemon in general in the upcoming meta as well. Wonder if we see some of them in regionals as well, as this thing has access to the Wild Charge, which makes it very, very good. We see actually them going into the Lopunny here as a Safe Swap. I guess the Safe Swap here can be both. Like, I think it's not a wrong idea to go into the Lopunny here, especially if they hit the Hyper Beam here. But the thing is, both of them kind of have some good coverage moves. Both are normal typing, so like there doesn't have to be a designated Safe Swap in this kind of team. They can just now go into the Double, and I guess they can go for some Body Slams. Double really looks like a good Pokemon, to be honest. I'm kind of curious on how often we will see this in the regionals. Really interesting. Definitely going to cover most likely all the regionals are going to be streamed, at least the final matches for the regional winners on my channel as well. Especially as the last one for the World Championship came like so well for like everybody. Like it was such a nice video that a lot of people liked. So I'm going to do this for the other regionals as well that are coming up. We see here the Wild Charge coming through, but they are all shielding it up. And we see a Swampert coming in, but this was way too late, Swampert. You're going to get hit by the Shadow Ball, and it's going to not quite KO you, but after one more Shadow Claw it will, and we see the opponents basically just surrendering there. As we face Jealous in lead here, having a Hex with this Shadow Claw now, you're going to be able to, I think, do exactly this. You get exactly the same amount of health with not health, energy with the Fast Moves there, so it's going to be a little close. You're going to bait out the Scrafty, which is really good for you, which actually hardwalls the entire team. If I just look at this, like you have the Lopunny, which just one-shots it here real fast, but if you wouldn't one-shot it, you have some kind of problems against this thing. I guess that the Double can do some stuff, having access to Body Slam plus the Double Kick. Double Kick also super effective, Body Slam super spammy and super strong. Maybe still have some play, but in general, your team a little bit struggles with that Pokemon, as you swap perfectly into the Double against this Jelson catching the Shadow Ball. This looks amazing, as you will be able to now go for some Wild Charges, but they actually run the Ice Beam. That's interesting. I've never really seen them running Ice Beam, at least the last few times I've seen a Double running any kind of move. Not Double, Jelson. As they go for another Ice Beam there, you can just go ahead, go for one more a Wild Charge. This Wild Charge will be enough to KO the opponent as you don't get debuffed because they don't have the debuffing move. You can go for one Body Slam, now swap out into the Runerigas, go for one Sand Tomb. This player doesn't know what they're doing. I know that they know what they're doing, so like I don't really have to judge their gameplay. They don't need that, definitely. As we see here, the Altaria in the lead. You can just go for the Shadow Ball, I guess. I would actually recommend you to swap out though. Like, oh okay, no, they actually go for the shield. It's a little bit tough. Altaria in general is a little bit tough for this team because you have like the two fighting type fast moves in the back there. But I think it's kind of okay to swap out. But I guess they don't want to give up switch advantage. They go into the Lopunny. I guess mainly because they want to showcase the Lopunny a little bit, because I don't think that this is the better safe swap, because the other thing is Wild Charge and you could be just Wild Charging stuff. But we see another horrible Pokemon for you here, which is the Scrafty, but you're just barely going to get to the Hyper Beam. But I see a Reggie coming in, and this Reggie will appreciate this one as they kinda struggle now to fight back here. It's going to be a tough one. They go for the Focus Blast. You have to farm up to 100 energy basically. They do this. They actually go for the bait here with the Body Slam. That's kind of interesting. Didn't think about this, and also the opponent didn't really think about it. But I guess you can just shield up and farm it all the way down. I see the play now as you're going to try to Body Slam spam the opposing Scrafty here. As you can just go ahead and go for more Body Slams. You should always go for one fast move exactly like this. And you will be able to go for like a lot of damage here. That's kind of insane. I think one more charge move, fast move would have been also fine as this thing gets closer now. You will be able to take any move here. It's a power punch. You will be able to just farm this thing down with the dub wall. And this is going to be a good game again, as we see a Skarmory in the lead here. Very neutral lead, to be honest. I think you win this, or I guess, oh no, okay, they get the moves back as well. I think there was just lag there in general. We see the Shadow Claw coming through, and we see that there is an Azumarill coming in, which doesn't really want to get hit by those Wild Charges here. Let's see how much damage this Ice Beam going to do. Not a lot. Actually, Double looks like a really good addition to the meta. Like, this Pokemon looks like it could do quite well also in like tournaments. As, oh, this is kind of risky, of course. If they want to shield this, it's fine. They actually shielded. Okay, that's very good for you. It's going to be an Ice Beam, of course, again, but they have to shield. And now they can farm up 5 times again, but they actually go further, like way earlier for this Body Slam. And they're gonna get another shield. I guess it's okay. You can shield up again. You can realign if you want to, but you don't really have to. And they don't do this. They go into their Runerigas most likely, exactly, and they can just farm it all the way down, especially, okay, they have to throw now because of the lag, I think. They can go for one Sand Tomb. The Sand Tomb will KO the Azumarill, and we see the Skarmory coming back in. You're going to shield this move up, and you can just farm this thing all the way down, I think. As we see the Swampert coming in, you will be able to go for one Shadow Ball. This does not KO, but it's not a Swampert, it's a Wish Cast. I am so... Okay, like, yeah, it could have been also, of course, a Quagsire or whatever. I just saw the typing and was like, yes, must be a Swampert. But it wasn't, it was a Wish Cast, which is way bulkier, but also has way less pressure for the fast and charge move there, as we see that the Hyper Beam connects again, and the Wish Cast goes down. As we see the opponent going back into the Skarmory, you can just easily go for one Fire Punch, and you will be able to win the game. Double Kick makes this Pokemon so much better, it's kinda insane. As we see the next game here, Runerigas against Kofagrigas. That's going to be a very interesting matchup, as you both are like, oh, that's kind of weird. You try to catch the Shadow Ball there. They might also go for the Dark Pulse here, and they go for the Dark Pulse. They don't really need to go for the Shadow Ball there. As we see the Buzzwole coming in, of course, this is how you want to have, like, play those kind of teams anyway. You're actually going to get the shield here. That's kind of crazy. I would have went for the Wild Charge also because you get debuffed and you don't give them more farm. But you actually hardwall Buzzwole with the Runerigas. Every move from Buzzwole gets resisted by Ghost typing, so even the Lunge will be resisted. But of course, if you have horrible IVs like this Runerigas, it doesn't really matter too much, as you're still going to get a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure that Runerigas has a low HP stat, but high defense stat. Basically similar like the... what's it called? Basically similar like the Deoxys defense. As we see an Acid Spray coming through here, good no shield, because this allows you now to go for one Hyper Beam again. Gonna get this thing very low, and you can go for one Fire Punch to KO this, but it's gonna come down to the wire. Maybe they can even farm you down with the fast move of the Shadow Claw, and I think they can. You have to shield it up, of course, but I think this looks like a loss to me. You have to throw here, but you have to go into the next Pokemon there. we see that you can go for one Fire Punch. Fire Punch will do some nice stuff. They actually can just barely reach the Fire Punch thanks to the swap out there to clear the debuff on the Acid Spray. Good game there. Very well played. As we see in the next game, we're going to see the NiRiain against Hypno. Interesting game there. We will see what they can do. Of course, this is a pretty decent lead, but also you have to be a little bit careful for Ice Punch or the Shadow Ball. Usually something that they run, or they just let the move go through, and you see a Scrafty. What do you do against Scrafty? This is the main question for me here, at least. You can try to catch the move. They tried to catch the move, didn't really work out, but doesn't really matter too much anyway. No, they can go for the Power Punch, but they're also debuffed, and you also get the move through here because they didn't throw it perfectly. They go for 2 Power Punches. This looks really horrible for you. But if you get this thing low already, you're going to be able to even maybe farm it down with the NiRiain now, because you're going to be able to resist those counters. You should go into the NiRiain again, in my opinion. And they actually exactly do this. They can go for one Centum. They can shield this move up here. They're actually going to let this move go through. This is kind of risky, and it kind of didn't pay off. But if you can get this thing to a Hyper Beam and they don't have something weak in the back. Oh, they have the Talonflame. One Hyper Beam will not be enough to KO them, I think. But it's still going to do some nice damage here. Never mind. Okay, I underestimated this. Stab Hyper Beam, I guess, is the way to go. As we see a Stunfisk in the lead. You could just go straight for the Sand Tomb, but you can also just go for the Shadow Ball. This is a Rock Slide. This is not how you're supposed to play this matchup. As we can see here now, one more Sand Tomb coming through. Sand Tomb will be able to get this thing at close to half health. Going for another one and going to get this thing really, really low. And you can just shield this move up, farm them down, have a lot of energy. It's an Earthquake and they cannot do anything about it. You have a Shadow Ball stored and you see a Grand Ball coming in. Grand Ball should be fine for your backline as well. Grand Ball doesn't really like to face Pokemon like the Dub Ball that can get to those charge moves very, very fast. It definitely doesn't appreciate those Body Slam spams, so I think you should be fine here. This move gets shielded and you can get to another mountain before they can get to their moves. I think they just CMP-tied here with you, but I'm not sure. They didn't. They just didn't get the move through for whatever reason. And they thought they can farm you down, and they couldn't. So this is a goodbye there. You see the Merak in the back, which is going to be actually a little bit tough, but you still can just go. I would have went for the Shadow Ball at least, but I guess you want to showcase. You want to beam this thing, I would guess. You want to get not completely farmed down here, unless this is the Fire Blast, which it couldn't even be. This should be fine. All moves are resisted, all moves are double resisted, the Fire Punch is single resisted. Please go still for the Hyper Beam, they go for the Hyper Beam. This is what we want to see here. Hyper Beam against the Ghost type still does a ton of damage, it's insane. And they can just go for the farm down actually here. They don't even have to go for the Fire Punch if they don't want to, but they want to. And this is going to be a good game against this Merak, as we see the final battle most likely. Altaria in the lead again, not the best lead for you, as we see that they can just go ahead, go for some more Shadow Balls, and they just play it the same way they play it the entire time, I guess. Go for one Shadow Ball, hope that they land. Again, I would most likely swap out after the Shadow Ball landed, because the Dub Ball is basically as bulky. You have access to Body Slam, which you get faster to than to those charge moves here, and you would be able to bait out the potential fighting type that you kind of want to beat with your NiRiain in the back. Of course, fighting type plus Altaria is kind of rare, but there's also like this double fighting team. As we see a Dunsparce, haven't seen Dunsparce at all yet. We see now that they can go for one Body Slam. This will do some nice damage against the Lantern, but yeah, the Lantern is still very bulky, but also the Double is very bulky, as they can go for more Body Slams. They're actually going to shield this move up here. Wonder if the Wild Charge would do more damage as the Body Slam actually. They're going to try and figure that out. Thanks for letting me know now as well. This looks definitely like more damage, so a good thing that we don't even have to go on PvPoke for this. As we see the Surf coming through, they can now farm it down with a Lopunny, completely farming it all the way down. Should be getting closer to the Hyper Beam, as you're already getting very close to that. They see that the Dunsparce goes for one Roll Run. Maybe you have to catch a move, I don't know. You try to catch the move and you will be able to catch the move here. Going to be another Rock Slide actually. So you can go for one Sand Tomb, getting at this thing low, and we're gonna put this into the range for one final Hyper Beam for this video. can't wait for this as we see the Phantom going to town. You can now go for the Fire Punch. How lame, of course, dual KO, and that's going to be it for the video, but no Hyper Beam is kind of sad. So yeah, still thanks for showing us how good Lopunny can be now thanks to the move update, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.